Culture, Community and Youth Minister Edwin Tong said he will continue serving Joo Chiat residents even after the ward is moved from Marine Parade GRC to East Coast GRC, following changes announced in the latest electoral boundary report. In an interview with the Straits Times on 12 March, Tong said the shift would not affect his plans, as the ward remains largely intact. Everything that I promised to do, we will continue doing. There's no change to the expectations of the Joo Chiat residents, said Tong, who has been the MP for the area since 2015. The Electoral Boundaries Review Committee's report, released on 11th March, stated that East Coast GRC will absorb the entire Joo Chiat ward and part of Kembangan Chai Chi. While Tong admitted to feeling somewhat disappointed about Joo Chiat leaving Marine Parade GRC, he said he was relieved that the ward wasn't cut up. Over the past decade, Tong has worked with fellow MPs, volunteers and grassroots leaders to implement various initiatives under the Marine Parade banner. These include the We Care programs for residents in need, a caregiver support network, and a free shuttle bus linking residents to MRT stations, clinics, and hawker centres. He also highlighted infrastructure upgrades in Joo Chiat, such as the rebuilding of the PCF Sparkletots preschool, which raised over $2 million through community support, improved community parks and themed playgrounds, as well as dog runs at Telok Kurau and Opera Estate. Healthcare services have expanded too, with Parkway East Hospital opening a pediatric urgent care centre and UNOS Polyclinic, starting operations during the pandemic. One major upcoming project is an integrated community hub in Siglap, due to be completed in 2029. Tong said its planning began not with blueprints, but with town halls and dialogues. The new hub will feature facilities such as a rooftop gym, 300 meters running track, and a jamming studio. Between 2020 and 2024, he and his team engaged hundreds of residents to shape the plans. Tong said he hopes to replicate these programs in East Coast, while also aligning with existing initiatives there. We'll try and find a way to replicate these, but of course, we also need to find a way to synergize with the rest of the divisions that are there, and that's something that we have to think about as we go down this journey. He added that MPs must be prepared to serve wherever the Prime Minister assigns them. After doing our very best for a particular estate for a term or two or more, we will be moved. Asked whether East Coast GRC might take on another full minister, given that Deputy Prime Minister Heng Swee Keat and Minister Maliki Osman are already on the team, Tong said it would be up to PM Lawrence Wong to decide. Ultimately, he said, MPs must focus on their own wards. Of course, we have a greater responsibility as the ministers and senior MPs for the whole of the GRC, but a primary focus is to make sure that our own ward is well looked after, he said. Under the Straits Times Facebook post, several netizens expressed scepticism over Minister Edwin Tong's claims of continued dedication to Joo Chiat ward. One user questioned what Tong had actually contributed to the area, asking whether he had been involved in any tangible changes or improvements. Like what was he actually involved in which led to a change or improvement to Joo Chiat? Another user claimed they had never seen him on the ground in their estate, saying it was usually his assistant who showed up instead. A separate commenter compared Tong's visibility to that of Workers' Party MPs, stating that opposition MPs regularly walk the ground with contractors to identify areas needing attention. They questioned whether PAP MPs did the same or simply use mouth to serve only. Another user took issue with what they perceived as arrogance in Tong's remarks, arguing that many Singaporeans are capable of doing his job, and doing it better. Some accounts noticeably praised Tong's work in Joo Chiat. However, several of these pro-PAP comments appeared to come from newly created or inactive accounts, prompting skepticism among other netizens. One supporter wrote, "Minister Edwin has done so much for my family, standing by us through some of our toughest times." The user added that his support and kindness had made a real difference. Another comment described his continued presence in Joo Chiat as a sign of true service, saying, "Commitment isn't about boundaries, it's about people." Others echoed similar sentiments, crediting Tong for leading with action rather than words. These messages of support, however, drew pushback from other netizens. One user questioned the authenticity of the praise, calling them fake comments and claiming that Tong had been widely disliked during his time in Boon Keng. The user added, "Now he is so lovely and comes to the ground. Frankly, who saw him before? I'm really curious to know." Another user remarked that the comments section seemed flooded with pro-government voices, stating, "Can see a lot of PAPs coming out in full force. The term People's Action Party Internet Brigade. has long been a contentious part of Singapore's political discourse, with critics alleging that it is used to manipulate online narratives in favor of the ruling party. While some defend it as legitimate political engagement, others view it as a form of astroturfing, a deceptive tactic where coordinated, inauthentic voices create the illusion of grassroots support. The lack of transparency surrounding these efforts raises ethical concerns about the integrity of public debate and the manipulation of political discourse in Singapore.